Hi, I'm Billy Barrett, and you're watching the Permanent Rain Press.
Hi everyone, it's Chloe with the Permanent Rain Press. Today I'm happy to be joined by Billy Barrett. How are you?
I am good. I am good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you for asking. I'm so excited to talk about a few projects of yours, but to start off, I know you come from a rich artistic background with both your mom and dad in the entertainment and music industries. So, what can you share about your upbringing and what sparked that passion in you as a child?
Um, I have grown up in a place called Hackney, right? So East London. My mum and dad have lived in separate places all the time. So when I'm with my mum, I was with my mum all the time, and when I'm with my dad, I'm with my dad all the time. And my from very young, my dad's been in sort of the more musical background. So I've just been in the studio with him and all the people he's working with, and it's been cool to sort of just meet everyone and just be around a studio environment, because it's when you're the music side of things, that's when that's kind of what you do. You just spend hours and hours and hours in the studio, and I've been there for a lot of it. So yeah, it's a good introduction to music, and my mum as well. We've always done the traveling to wherever to film together since I was like quite young. So yeah, so it's been good. They've been really supportive. It's been fun. Yeah.
Are there any kind of moments when you were younger that you pinpoint as being like the starting point when you are kind of like, I want to pursue a career in this?
I started when I was 7, right? So I did like these I did this little sort of flashback scene with like one of my mum's friends who was director, and I wasn't on an agency or anything like that, and then she sort of gave me that role, and it was cool being on set and seeing everyone, and like I remember I got shouted at for not for they shouted, "Don't look in the camera," because I kept looking in the lens of the camera, and it was a good lesson. And then eventually after that I went to apply for an agency, which is the agency I'm still on, Sylvia Young Agency, and yeah, like I got on it, and since then we've just been sort of growing and building. And I reckon when you're doing it so young, you're not really conscious of what you're doing. You're just doing it. But I reckon like sort of responsible child time is when I really realized, oh, this is like a thing. This is a job. That's okay. This is cool. So then, that's probably the time I really sort of fell in love with the whole idea of film and being on set with everyone, and also just creating characters um, and playing them and sort of interpreting them in your way. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, that's probably when I fell in love with the whole thing.
Definitely. It's when you have to really embody a character. Like that was such an important role and a really heavy role at that. And we'll talk about Responsible Child in just a moment, but I wanted to talk about your training at Sylvia Young Theatre School in London. What can you say about your time there and the key lessons that you took away from your studies?
Sylvia Young is a great theatre school. The people that know the name Sylvia Young, and it's quite a well-known name. It's you just know that it's quite good. It's a great school. It's great, and they're actually really good at teaching academics as well as all the vocational stuff and all of that. And I was lucky enough to be able to get a scholarship there, and without that, I don't think I would have been able to go. And yeah, it was great. And I left there like how long ago? Like maybe over a year now. Yeah, it's a long time. Sorry, I can't swear, can I? Yeah, my bad. Uh, You can bleep it out. Yeah, no, it's just great that I can I went there because I met some friends now that from there that I would never have known, and that is literally like we've created a lot of stuff. Like the band that I'm in wouldn't have been a thing without them. The agency, I wouldn't have got anything without them. So like, yeah, they're great. I love them. So much respect for them.
And at that school, like it's one of those things where you're a teenager, a young adult, like those years are so important in shaping your knowledge and preparing you for future roles as well. A responsible child, like you mentioned, such a pivotal role in your career. So looking back at this complex film, looking back at your portrayal of Ray, what did you learn from being a part of this project?
God, I learned so much. I learned so much. It was more about like experiences for me. Like, you know, I remember one of the first scenes we shot, and this was the first time I'd done it, was a scene with Ray and his the guy that was defending him, and I remember we first met. I'm in the cell and he's walking through the door, but they wouldn't let me meet the actor until we shot the scene. So I'm sat in this cell for ages, and then sorry, the camera's moving again, and then they called action and it was all rolling and everything, and then I first met him, and then like it was so real the way we got to meet, like it just looked so authentic, and it was like it's just different ways of shooting things like that. You don't really, well, I guess you do, but it's the first time you don't really do that, but maybe you do. I don't know. It was the first of many things that I have experienced, and it was all on that set, you know. Whether or not I'd experienced them before, maybe I have, but I was so young I wouldn't remember.
Well, you did such a phenomenal job in that role. I watched the movie on it was uploaded to some true crime channel on YouTube. So that's how I saw it. Yeah, because it's in the UK, right? So I don't have like is it BBC it was on, but you won an international Emmy award for that role. So I remember watching, I think when you like won the award, and you could see how much it meant to you and your family. Where do you keep your Emmy?
It's on a desk in my bedroom. There's like a desk sort of connected to my bed, so I'll just keep it there, and you know, everyone comes in, they see it, and then they just go, oh, that's great, and then that's it. But yeah, it's great. And I remember being there, and it was like I had the AirPods in, right, and it was over COVID, so no one could actually go there that weird time, and then I had these earpods in. And then I'm doing the thing, and I'm like on there, and I'm like ready in my suit and tie. And I remember I was I think I might have been looking at my phone or something, or looking at something else down here or something. And then I've got everyone behind me. And then they said Billy Barrett, and I went, oh. And then like everyone else was like, what? And then they were like, oh my God, he's won it. And I remember my mum might have sworn on TV for the first time. She just, well, I can't reenact it, but yeah, she was swearing out of excitement, and then she caught herself, and yeah, it was fun. It was fun, and then like, you know, we finished it, and I could just celebrate in my home. Do you know what I mean? It was cool. It was a weird experience because of COVID and everything, but it was a first, so I wouldn't have known any other experience anyway. So there we go.
And you always remember your first, I'm sure first of hopefully many awards in the future, but it was sweet to also give a little shout out and dedicate to your younger brother as well.
My younger brother is, as we say in England, he's a bad man. He's yeah, I love Cass. His name's Cassius Thompson. He's the best. And yeah, he's currently doing he's like doing modeling stuff, and then he also shot something, I can't remember the name of it, but he was such a little legend in it. And then it was with Greg Davies, and then he did voiceover for me. It was Magic Playground, and now he's doing Muay Thai, which is pretty sick. I love it, and now I can't tell him what to do because he's just gonna kick my ass. You know what I mean?
He's gonna be the next action star.
Oh yes, that is Cass, 100%. I'm like the sidekick.
That would be so fun to team up and do a project in the future, maybe when he's a bit older as well. But we'll talk about Invasion, where you star as Casper. How would you describe his journey from season 1, when we meet him, to the end of season 2, and how he's grown and adapted to this new world and responsibility?
So season 1 was so long ago because we actually had to stop filming because of COVID, and then when they gathered what was happening, we carried on. But yeah, so it's quite funny. Like, you see, even in season 2 and season 3, you see that everyone's sort of grown much more than they would have over the time they've given us, which is hilarious. But it's great. Look, I did the audition when I was like 12 or 13, something like that, right? And I remember the people I met in the actual audition was Paddy, and then I also met India, who play oh god, what's Paddy's character? Do you know his character?
I'm gonna go look up
Look
what
it
his
up, 'cause
character's
that's
name
really
was.
bad. I've forgotten. Monty. Fucking, I remembered it. Yeah, okay, Monty. He plays Monty. Paddy plays Monty. And I met Paddy in there, and we were like, there was like 30 kids, and we just sat in this corner chatting. And we were just talking about whatever. And then we became good friends. And then I think we went for dinner afterwards with like our parents and everything. It was good. We were so young. And then I remember I got the final call, and I heard I got it, and then I had to sort of do a chemistry read with 2 possibilities for Jamila. And then I remember I walked in there, and India just took the floor. Like, it was, I felt like, oh God, this is hers. I shouldn't even be involved in this. Like, she just was so brave. She's like the coolest and like the most courageous actress, man. She's sick. So yeah. And then we've sort of grown together in real life, not even just in the thing, in the series, in the thing. So, but he, yeah, it's been great, and like, you know, I think because we've sort of grown up like filming together and spending COVID together, so you're in lockdown together, you sort of develop these like long time friendships, you know. It's been great filming with them, and I saw Indy the other day actually, but I haven't seen Paddy, so I'm gonna stay on his case.
Everyone's so busy, but it's so nice that, you know, you have that bond that, you know, you share. No one else has kind of been through that same experience as you. I know that you worked with an epilepsy specialist for your seizures in the show. So tell me about the work that you did to get into character mentally and physically.
Well, we only did like a few sessions. The rest was just sort of personal revision, I guess. And it was sort of like speaking to friends that have epilepsy, and you know, just sort of trying to understand as much as I could about it. Again, you're asking me questions from like years ago, so I'm trying to remember. But yeah, I mean, I remember it. There was one time, and I think I told this in an interview before actually, but there was a time where they got all the actors together when we hadn't really met properly, and then they came over, and they would just tell us little things that we had to do without anyone else knowing, and then we'd do it. And one of them was I had to sort of have like a fake seizure, and then everyone sort of just all their characters just kicked in, and then they were all doing what their characters would be doing. It was so mad. It was so good. But yeah,
like a good kind of training exercise. But if anything, I think like it helps you to understand what someone would be like in that medical situation. So
yeah.
such a good role. And I know again this is like going to the past, but it is kind of hopefully a bit fresher from season 2. What can you say about Casper and Jamila's relationship and the connection that they share? Like what did you think Casper saw in her and vice versa?
Casper's always been in love with, you know, the Xylem Queen, the Jamila, you know, like that's who he's been in love with since day dot. I can't speak for Jamila's character because that's for India to do, but Casper, you know, he's just a kid, you know, he's just like a kid, and he's having like such big things happen to him, and it's so like insane, and like, you know, how would anyone deal with that? And really all he wants is to just, I don't know, he wants to help because that's sort of what he's been wrapped up in, but at the same time I don't think he wants to help without Jamila, because, you know, that's his person, you know. So yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say any more because season 3 is not out yet, but you know.
You know, at the end of season 2, viewers are left unsure about Casper's true intentions at the portal. So do you remember your reaction when you read the script for the first time that set up that cliffhanger?
Yeah, I was like, what are they doing? Are they making me like some sort of bad guy? What's going on? And I won't say any more from there because I know that I'll slip, and I can't do that.
You're like, it might come out of me, but yeah, it's
Apple's
kind
a
of
big
building up, you know.
entity. I can't do that.
The NDA. But I mean, season 1 and season 2, like, you know, he has this responsibility. He's a good guy here. So obviously it was kind of like a big shock to viewers to see that. So I'm excited. Did you have a good feeling about a renewal for season 3?
I did. Yeah, I did. I mean, how are you gonna have that kind of cliffhanger and not have a season 3? You know, it's yeah, I have a good feeling about it.
So with Casper, like, do you think you have a really good understanding on who he is as a person, or like when you read scripts, obviously not going into season 3, but are you still learning new things about him even throughout like season 2?
Well, I'm learning new things about him all the time because he's growing up, you know, and I'm learning new things about me every bloody day. Do you know what I mean? So I am learning new things about him, and I don't know. Yeah. It is like anyone else. You know, he's growing up, and stuff changes, and the way that you are changes sometimes, and you know, what's sad is that he probably can't have the time to himself to be okay with that or even understand that, you know, properly. So he's still this young boy inside, even though he is growing up, you know. Yeah, that's Casper. He's Casper the ghost, you know?
So you mentioned India and Patty, who, you know, you kind of became friends with early on. You've also worked closely with Shamir in the first 2 seasons. So what can you say about him as a person and as a scene partner?
Shamir? Oh, he's a legend. He's great. I'm not even just saying that. Like, he's actually a lot of fun. And it was cool to, you know, go to, I know he's from Toronto, and we were in Vancouver, but it was cool to be in Canada with him, you know. Yeah, me and Shamir have sort of developed this like friendship through talking about music as well, like on set, and also just showing each other our music, and just, you know, the more that our characters sort of become friends. So it feels like the more we become friends. So yeah, one message to Apple is just keep making our characters like each other. Because I don't want don't want bad beef, man.
I love the scenes that, they had, and, looking forward to season 3, which I know is currently in production. It's really interesting to see what will happen with the hive mind. I mean, I personally hope that Casper would spend less time in a hospital bed or incapacitated, which he has spent much time in the first couple of seasons, but it's very
I know
exciting.
it's so easy for me.
You've been like lying in a bed for a lot of the time. You're just like, I could take a nice nap here.
Yeah, in fact, I don't know what to say this, but there was one take where I think I woke up in the middle of the take because I'd fallen asleep. But they were doing a wide shot, right? So they were filming the whole room, and then you sort of just see the bed, and then I'm just lying down, and this is in season 2, and I'm lying down, and I'm just going, oh, and then I went back to sleep. But I remember seeing the camera and going, wait, no, lie down. Yeah, it was hilarious.
What can you share about the sets and how they've added to the realism of your experience?
The sets. Well, a lot of it, my parts have been shot just on studio. So, there's a lot of they haven't really used green screen. It's sort of just I don't know anything about visual effects, but they're it's pretty incredible. It's like the size of it all is just mad. Like, you've got they had this like sheet that was like moving, and I remember they also had some lasers that were like shooting everywhere like that, and it was like, I don't know, I'm demonstrating lasers. Anyway, they were shooting it, and then they were the way, I think it was like the shutter speed or something like that was changed. And so when you watch it back, those lasers that to the naked eye looked like hard lasers, they were like all like ribbony. They looked like ribbons and stuff like that. It was so like insane. So yeah, that's been pretty cool to see and sort of learn and understand. But took a while. But yeah, we it's been cool. It's been cool. Yeah.
It's always really interesting to hear the behind the scenes and how they create that intensity, because also with the show and like with Aliens, which obviously things like that are added in post-production, but there has to be like some kind of stand-in that makes you feel like you're in that real environment.
They used to use tennis balls. So they would get a tennis ball and they just move it around, right? And then that would be our eye line, and we'd follow that. And then I remember there's one scene in season 2 where, is it season 2? I think it's season 2. Where me, Shamir, and India are all like back to back, and Shamir's like firing the gun and like he's shooting all these aliens away and everything. But there was just so many tennis balls, like in every doorway. There was just tennis balls, and it was just like, it was so mad. So mad.
Season 3, hopefully later this year, next year, maybe, but exciting times for you. Let's talk about My Spy, The Eternal City, because that is coming out next week on the 18th, and you star as Ryan. Had you watched My Spy when you auditioned or before you were cast?
The original My Spy. Yeah, I think I watched it because there was like a time I was just going through all the Dave Bautista movies. And like, yeah, I think I was with my dad and I was watching it. And it's great. It's great fun, And then when I got this audition, I was like, whoa, what? And then like I was actually in Cape Town shooting Invasion, and I'm not sure which one, but Invasion. And then we were in Cape Town, and I got the role. And I remember they were like, "Oh, our studios are like 10 minutes away from where you're shooting or where you're staying. So come say hello, come meet the director and everything." So I was like, "Okay, cool." So then my stay got extended. and yeah, we shot My Spy 2, which was like so much fun. Like, I remember the first time I walked in to meet like Pete and Chloe and everyone like that, I was so nervous. I was so nervous. Eventually we met and we got on, and then they were so welcoming that you see your nerves sort of just go. And then the studios were so big and cool, and it was just like, yeah, it was incredible. And then we went to, I got the chance to fly to Rome and then to Venice, and because that was not like too far away from London, I got my bandmate, best mate Cody to come out and fly to Rome, and then he loved it so much that he ended up flying to Venice as well, which was a lot of fun. So yeah.
So nice to have your friends with you. And with this movie, what's really exciting is I saw the first one, and you can see how Chloe has aged a bit more, and real action kind of star, and taking more of a pivotal role in the sequel. Is there anything that you can share about your character Ryan and his part in the movie?
I actually have no idea how much you said this is going to come out.
Yes. Yeah.
Ryan's like he's a teenager. He's like the popular kid, I guess, and yeah, he's like classic. Like, he wears the what do you call it? The like, it's got the leather arms, and it's got the, like, you wear it if you're in like the football team, or like the
Letterman jacket. I think it's like
no. No, not jersey. Is it jersey? The coat, big coat. Anyway, it's I'll figure it out at some point. But anyway, he wears some of those. He's a nice kid. He's not like a horrible dick. Sorry, I can't say this.
You can. That's completely fine.
I can.
No,
okay.
Yeah.
He's not like a horrible dick at all. He's like yeah. He's Ryan's a nice kid. He's in the, oh God, do you know what? I know it's going to come out soon, but I just can't say too much.
He is in choir. We do know that. And in the trailer, we can kind of see that he might be Sophie's love interest.
Well, go watch it and find out. Out now.
What can you say about the stunt and action scenes? Even if you weren't involved, what should people like be on the lookout for in this movie?
There's a lot of action, and there's a lot of comedy, and you've got some of the greatest comedy stars or names there, and it's been great to meet them and sort of hang out with them, and like, yeah, I've made some really good friends on this one as well, and yeah, there is a lot of action, and in fact, I was involved in one action sequence which I'm not going to talk about, but I was, and it was a lot of fun, and it's not my first time in harnesses, but I've yeah, there was some harness work, which is cool.
You'll have to look out for that in the movie. And you mentioned Peter before. So Peter Siegel returned as the director, same writing team as well. So how was it working with the creative team and with Peter? Like, how was he as a director?
Oh, dude, they're so great. They're a lot of fun. Like, they're a lot of fun just to hang out around, and like, you can just talk to them. Like, you can just talk to them like normal people. Like, sometimes on film sets it gets a little bit, like, you have to be super, super professional, which I get and I'm cool with. There's no problems there. But it was so great to just be able to, just have a conversation with someone, or like talk about life instead of the film, and like, it's just good fun.
I just wanted to talk about, South Africa and Italy. You mentioned, Cody got to be out there with you for a portion in Europe. So how was your time in these locations? Like, what did you get up to doing on the days off?
On the days off, we spent a lot of time on set, but a lot of them were night shoots, which meant we'd finish quite late, and then we just had the day to go out. Like being in Australia, where we're shooting now, is a lot of it shot in the day, and there are some night shoots, but it's quite early starts and then relatively early finishes. And we there's like markets and places, but I haven't been able to travel far. Although I did go to Sydney on the weekend, which was incredible. But yeah, like you don't get loads of time. Whereas on My Spy, I had a lot of time to sort of like go out and travel because they were mainly night shoots, and you can't shoot in the day as well if you've just done a night shoot. So yeah, it was great, and me and Cody had a great time, and me, Cody, and Chloe actually had a great time. We all went out together. It was great. It was good fun.
Yeah, a lot of people similar in age. There's Tejo as well.
Oh, sorry, yeah, Teo as well. But Teo wasn't so much in Rome. I think they were shooting so much in Rome. It was in Venice that we really like. It was great to just go out with all of them. And yeah, Teo's he's a lot of fun as well. I love Teo. I actually haven't spoken to him that much since we finished, but I'm gonna give him a call after this actually. Yeah.
You went zip lining, and I know I saw photos that you posted. You also were hanging out with your co-star Craig Robinson as well.
Yes. Did we go zip lining?
I think you did.
Shit. You're probably right.
I don't
You're
remember.
probably right. I'm probably wrong. But yeah, great. Zip lining, yeah. When did we go zip lining? What the fuck? Have I forgotten this? Okay, yeah, shit. Okay.
Find it on your Instagram.
Yeah, I probably did then. I probably did. Yeah, but Craig Robinson's great. I love Craig. He's great. And I went to LA and we spent some time together. It was sick. And he's so funny. He's so funny. Like, yeah. But I mean, he's Craig Robinson. Why wouldn't he be funny?
It's such a great cast, and I know they just had some kind of screening, so I'm sorry that you didn't get to go be with them, but you're in a different country right now, so
yeah, I know. They did invite me, but I had, it was it last night?
I think it was within the past couple of days. There were some photos posted. Yeah.
So yeah, I was working. I've been working so much on this,
non-stop. So fair enough. This December you have another movie out, Kraven the Hunter. You'll be playing a younger Dimitri, or Chameleon, who we know from the comics is Kraven's half brother with his own supervillain story. And I know you can't say too much about this one as well, very under wraps, but what kind of research or preparation did you uncover about this character that kind of stood out to you?
I got to watch a lot of the other actors, and the person that was playing older me, and the way that he'd done his research, and the way that he'd sort of like move, and the way that he did this thing with his eyes where he'd shut his eyes properly, like that. And just like little things like that I'd take, and then I was like, that's so interesting, it really was. And then yeah, and I guess it just and also working with the other names in there, I really don't know how much I can say about this, so I'm gonna keep it very under wraps. But yeah, I mean, just working with the people that were on there, like, I learned so much about how to research a character, or how to figure out a scene.
Why should superhero and comic book fans be excited for this movie?
Because it's Kraven the Hunter. I'm pretty sure that was the first person in the comics to ever fight Spider-Man. I think. I don't know if I've just made that up, but yeah, it would be, Kraven's like someone that hasn't really been touched on either. I think like when I first heard Kraven, I didn't actually know who that character was, and I thought I was a big Marvel fan, but clearly I don't know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I mean, it's a new character, it's a new thing. It's gonna be mad. And I've seen some of the action sequences. Splendid. They look great.
Was being a part of this Marvel Comics film like all you could have dreamt of? Do you remember what your very first day on set was like?
My first day on set, yeah, I met, it was so big. Like I think it was next to like an airfield or something like that. And it was like, there were like studios in England next to this airfield. Anyway, we were there, and I remember I got put in this trailer because it was a temporary trailer, and it was like the biggest trailer I'd ever seen. There was like sofas and like a whole table with like chairs. I was like, what? Why do I have this? And then I found out that it was not mine. But I did go in there, and I had a great time in there for the time I did have. And then I went onto set, and I met everyone, and then I remember meeting Russell, and he was just like the coolest dude ever. Like you don't even need to meet him, you just need to hear his voice and you know that man is cool. So yeah, it was great. It was good fun, and JC's a great director. Yeah, a lot of fun.
You mentioned the older version of your character, which is Fred Heschinger, who is just killing it right now. And I'm sure it would be nice to kind of follow in his footsteps. Hopefully you got to maybe spend some time with him.
Do you know what? I didn't actually get to spend as much time with him as much as everyone else. But yeah, Fred's wicked, and I actually think the first day I met him was the first day on set, and that's when I learned everything I needed to know. And it was just, the way he was blinking to sort of match the character and what could become of the character and all of that. He's very good. Like, there's not a lot of people you can watch and go, wow. Like, but I watched him, and I didn't know who he was at the time, and I was like, this dude's incredible. Like, that's really, like, it actually, I felt something watching him. So yeah, legend.
I'm excited to see what you both do with this character, and you also got to spend time with Levi Miller, who is more similar in age to you.
Yeah, a little bit older, but Levi is great, and in fact I think he's not from Adelaide, but he's from Australia, and yeah, bless him, they flew him out to England, and he sort of just doing his own thing, and he was like the nicest dude ever, and it was great working with him because he's like just such a kind soul, and great actor as well. So yeah, they've got a really good team on this. Yeah.
So out December 13th, I believe. So we'll stay tuned for that. Bring Her Back. You just mentioned A24. It was announced at the end of May that you were joining as a lead or main character in this film. How has this project and experience been for you so far?
It's probably one of the greatest. This isn't me saying anyone else's was a bad experience or anything like that, but it's the most involved I've ever been in a film. The way that I have a say in costume, or the way I have a say in my hair or makeup, or what do you think your character would do, and it's just been so, I feel like I'm part of the family. Sometimes I feel like actors can feel slightly, especially newer actors can feel slightly out of of the whole thing, you know. Sometimes you just turn up to set, say your lines, you meet people, hello, and leave. And it doesn't feel so like I want to be involved in this, you know. So yeah, this has been like the greatest, and it's been so fun, and everyone on set is just like, you know, it's this they I think they've all worked with each other before, and they're just so quick, and they you know, like they do this thing. If there's an emotional scene, I come on set and everyone's whispering. They're all like, yeah, how are you? You okay? You okay? And then they won't want to talk to me as much. And then they'll just whisper to each other what they need to do. They'll whisper over the radio and all of that. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then eventually I'm like, oh, it's because we're shooting this scene. And then it'll be an emotional scene. And it's so great. It feels like everyone's in it with you, you know? Everyone on that set is there. And we're working together, you know? It's like, yeah, it's so fun. And the boys, Danny and Michael Filippo, they're, you know, I've said it. I said it yesterday when I did EPK. They're genius. They are geniuses. And if you've seen Talk to Me, and actually if you've watched some of their YouTube videos, they are genius. I'm telling you. I'm so happy to be working with them, honestly.
Are you an A24 fan? Like, were you a fan of the movies?
Yeah, big time. And you know what? There was a lot of films I watched where I was like, oh, what? That was A24. So like, yeah, A24 is so cool because it's almost like they're just doing it their way, you know, and I love that. It's so cool. And also the content they're making, the films and the stories they're involved with are just so good, you know. So yeah, I'm really grateful that I can be involved in this in any way, you know.
Are there any one or two that stand out for you off the top of your head?
Well, I remember, because obviously it's horror and the horror genre, Talk to Me was like, wow, that was incredible. I think Talk to Me was the first one I was like the first film in quite a long time where I'd just been involved for the whole thing, no stops or starts. Like I was involved, and then right to the end, and I was just like blown away at that ending as well. Like what a great ending. And Hereditary, that was incredible. So good. And they're coming out with new things at the moment, which is really good. I want to watch that Civil War thing, which I still haven't seen, but apparently it's incredible. Yeah, there's a lot of things that are great. If I could go through their list of things and I could just name all the ones I like, but you know, just know that A24 is a brilliant production company.
Have you watched Ex Machina before?
No.
I would recommend that one. That one's really good. If you know Dom Hall Gleason, really great movie.
Sounds good.
You can go check it out after when you have free time. But how about, so you mentioned the Philippos, you also have a really incredible co-star in the remarkable Salli Hokins. So, you know, without saying, I don't know, you know, if you share scenes together, but hopefully you have met her. How was that?
Sally's a lot of fun. I can't say too much, but Sally's so good at what she does, and you know, Salli Hokins. But she's so good at what she does, and she's so involved in the character that it's just like, you know, it also helps because you have so much to work off of. You know, it feels like you're talking to the character. And when they call action, obviously, when it's cut, we're you know doing our thing. But and she's lovely as well. But when we're shooting, it's like you're talking to the character, and it's so like it just helps me as someone that you know is talking to the character to actually understand how I would react, or how the character would react, and then obviously Danny and Michael get involved, and it's like, yeah, it's like this team is so good. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
I can tell how
And I
like
can't say anything,
excited
but
you
yeah.
are, but like you're trying not to say anything. But it's so nice to feel so immersed in this experience and like living through your character. And you have been in projects heavily in the drama genre, maybe a bit of mystery thriller, but not a full-on horror movie before. So were you a fan of this genre coming in and what it brings to audiences?
Yeah, I was. It wasn't ever something like, oh, I want to sit down and watch a horror. It was more that my friends would go, oh, do you want to watch a horror? And I'd be like, yeah, all right. And then we watch it and we absolutely terrified, and then not really know where to sleep or what to do with ourselves. And that feeling is hilarious, and I love it. Because when you're, like, it's just something you can do with your friends, and then also it's like what I love about Danny and Michael's work, and talk to me here because I can't talk about Bring Her Back, but there's like a proper story behind it. It's not like, there are some films out there, horror films, where it's like, you can kind of tell what's going to happen, and there's not really a story. It's just kill, 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 kill. Do you know what I mean? Whereas like they've got a story, and I really love it. And there's like a depth within the character, and also what storyline we're following, and it's great. I love it.
You've been like jumping project to project to project as of late, like over the past year.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, it's been busy, but I'm looking forward to just taking like a couple of weeks to just chill, and then I'll get back in it, I reckon. But yeah, it's I don't know. I just love a story. Do you know what I mean? I'm not like a big like just madness. Do you know what I mean? In the film, I want like a story and a relationship between characters, and someone that does that really well, like big names I'm talking about. This is like big, but someone I look up to is Leonardo DiCaprio. He picks his films really well, and he's since he was younger than me, and like he's created a relationship with directors that is exactly what I want to do. I want to find a director that I get on so well with, and then I also want to just sort of be able to create movies, because it is an art form. It's an art form, and I want to be involved in that art.
You are multi-skilled. You skateboard, you've had like some stage combat experience, also a bit of a dance background, which we don't see in some of your past projects. So would you ever be up to doing some kind of musical, or is that you're like, no?
Do you know what? I did a musical in the West End a long time ago. And it was Big Fish, the musical, with Kelsey Grammer in it, and it was it was fun. It was fun to do. I'm trying to think back to when I did it, but do you know that feeling of being on stage is what I get that from music, making music and going on stage and being able to perform my own thing. Maybe I'd try theatre where it isn't musical stuff. I'd like, because from what I've heard, I spoke to some of the actors in Invasion about it actually, and they, the way they explained it was like it's the greatest feeling to be able to just have the audience right there. And I was like, oh God, I don't know if I'm capable of that, but like, I watched some people and I'm like, actually, that does look pretty fun and pretty amazing to experience. But I think the whole dance in the films and the musical, I'm not gonna ever say no. Like I'm not gonna shut it down right here, right now. This is it. No, but like maybe when I've sort of done a few more films, maybe
You
that's
like
when
do
I
what you need
start
to do and then maybe kind of reconsider kind of thing.
and then we'll talk about the exactly.
We'll get into music as kind of this final chapter here. What music did you grow up listening to, and who would you say are your favorite artists today?
Do you know what? Like growing up in Hackney, you just hear everything, and also having a mum who listens to everything is wicked, and also her friends listen to all kinds of different things, and not only do they just listen to it, they were there when it was happening, and like that's pretty sick. And then my dad on the other side, being in the studio with some of the guys that I love, like Shy FX, he's wicked, and my dad works with him all the time, and you know, just released the new EP or album, I think it's an album, and yeah, it's so sick. So I love like drum and bass. I love rock, obviously. I love punk. I love like I think I just like just I love everything, right? Music wise. I actually don't think there's been a time where I go, oh, turn that off, unless like it's completely like do you know what I mean? Like it's just weird in your ears. Like it's just not nice. But then I guess that's not really music, is it? That's just noises. But the only reason I say this is because someone showed me a song like that the other day, and I was like, "Turn it off! What are you doing?"
It's like it's hurting my ears.
Yeah, like what are you doing? Stop hurting me. So yeah. But I mean, mainly rock and punk and drum and bass and you know, just being able to dance to it, you know, dance. If I can dance to it or jump around to it or just go nuts, then I love it, you know.
I was watching some old videos of you singing, performing The Middle by Jimmy Eat World. You had the Green Day's Basket Case as well. And you were such a good performer and guitarist even like 3-4 years ago. How and when did music turn into more than just a hobby and pastime where you wanted to make music more seriously?
When I met Cody and we wrote a bunch of songs that were like the worst songs you've ever heard. And we only realized that until like a year after we wrote them. And then we started writing, and like it was getting better. And like we sort of were like, okay, this is quite cool. And then when I started watching Green Day, like watching Green Day was the time I was like, oh, this is something I'd really want to experience is go on stage and play in front of that many people and have them all going absolutely crazy and mosh pitting, and it's going to be the best thing ever. You know, like there was one show I always reference, which is Green Day Chicago 1996 or 1994, and it was like so good. Like I watched it on, you can find the whole thing on YouTube. It's like nuts, but it's hilarious and it's great. And that's what made me want to go like, this is something I want to do, as well as, you know, making films and everything. So when I'm with Cody, we just write all the time. He's a lot of fun as well. Cody is like my guy. Like he's like it's like we come in a package. Do you know what I mean? Cody's great. Yeah.
Everyone needs a musical partner, so that's clearly your musical partner. Tell me about The Hunger. What was the origin story for that and the name?
So The Hunger is actually from the David Bowie film. We started it maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, but basically I asked Cody when we were in school, right? And he didn't particularly like me at the time because I was a little like, I was just young, and he's a bit older than me, so you know it's bound to happen. Anyway, I was there going, "Do you want to start a band?" And he went, "Oh, I'm in one, sorry." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So then 2 months go by, and I've asked him again, "Do you want to be in a band?" He went, "Nah." And then eventually he came up to me and he goes, you want to start that band? Because we started traveling back and forward from school and back to our houses and stuff, because we live so close to each other. And then I was like, do you want to start, do you want, he goes, do you want to be in the band? And I was like, yeah, 100%. So he dropped his other guy, because I think his other guy was just doing his own thing, really. And then we started making music together. And like I said, it was terrible, but then it got good. And then only last year we started making like moves with the music, like playing gigs. And like, I remember the first proper, we played in the street a couple of times, but then the first proper gig we played was at Camden Assembly. It's like above a pub, and all these people came, and it got sold out. And we were supporting this band that we actually went to school with as well, and it was their first gig as well. So it was all of our first gig. I don't know why so many people came. I think it was for the band that played first, called the Zigarettes, and then it was us, the Hunger, and then it was Emergency Break, the headline. And I remember it just got sold out, and all these people were in there. And then like when I was playing and I saw everyone moshing, and I saw all these people going crazy, and like there were some people shouting things on the stage which were just hilarious. And it was like, yeah, it was a lot of fun. And me and Cody looked at each other and we were like, shit, this is big. And then we played our first, not headline, I don't want to say headline because it was at a festival, like a mini festival, but we were the last on the bill. And we played, and we were the last ones of the night, and everyone was still there. They were going nuts. And then right at the end, we started singing the final song, Summer With You. And everyone started singing the lyrics back. And me and Cody, like, just, yeah, teary-eyed. But it was great. Like, they were screaming the lyrics back to us. And it's not even out. So they must have come to all the other gigs. But, yeah, anyway.
That must be so special for you as an artist, and just being on stage. You've played at some other really cool venues. I was looking, the Engine Rooms, Water Rats. So it's kind of like, you think about the venues that you start out playing in your career, and then you have Millie and Bruno join in as well. So how did they come to start playing live with you both?
So me, Cody, and Bruno went to the same school, and Millie, I didn't know who she was until it first started. I'm sure if you can find it somewhere, I know I've got it on my phone and Cody's got it on his phone, but we used to rehearse in Pirate Studios, and it would literally just be me and Cody, right? So we used to take turns playing songs. So he'd play the drums, and then I'd sing and play guitar, and then we'd swap and just keep swapping each song. Then we were like, fuck, bro, we need like an actual band, right? So then we got Bruno. Sorry, no, we got Millie, because he had met her at like a gig or something, and then stayed in touch with her. And then we actually had someone else on board, but they weren't sort of getting what we needed and what we wanted. So we sort of we found Bruno, who had went to our school and never told us that he played any instruments, but actually he plays every instrument under the sun. He's one of those like annoying kids that's just good at everything. So we were like, we've got to get him in here. He came, he smashed it. He's just like the best. So we were like, okay, we're going to keep him. And then since then we've just been, just trying to play as many gigs as possible. And then once we start gaining like a following or like a thing, we'll release, hopefully.
It's really cool to find people that you really gel with musically and see it all come together. What can you share about the band's upcoming original music? Like, have you actually went into the studio and recorded? Are you still kind of like fine-tuning some of the songs?
Everything that we've recorded has been in Cody's bedroom or in my bedroom, and somehow he's made it sound incredible. He's just so techie, like internet tech. Do you know what I mean? He just gets it. I don't, but you know, Cody's great at that, so I do that. We did actually record 4 songs in the studio, but who knows what we're going to do with them. That it's sort of to show labels and promoters, and so we got the experience to be in the studio. But yeah.
So your dad is a recording mix engineer, producer, writer. I know Cody's dad is also a musician. So do you ever get any kind of tips and feedback from parents, or are you two do you like to do this on your own?
We've always been quite, this is what we're doing. You know, my dad helped us actually mix and record 4 of those songs. So I've always been quite like, yeah, help us, Dad. And he has, and it's been great. But not to release, but just to have that, you know, because Cody's dad is in Placebo, obviously. We've sort of been like, no, we're going to do this on our own. This is, you know, no hard feelings or anything. It's just like, we're going to do this. Just, we want to get it done ourselves. Because, you know, no one wants to be like, oh, you only got the fame because of, you know what I mean? So if we make it, we can officially say that we have done it all by ourselves.
And it's nice to have ownership of what you're doing, you know, all of the creative control, and you know you're making the decisions. And I'm really excited to see what comes out of the band. I like Summer With You. I like Snake. I was listening to some of like the little demos and videos you have out there. Are you in college for music?
I was. Yeah, I just left. So yeah, right now I'm just focusing on work. Like, you know, I call it work, but work's a bad word, I think. People see the word work as like, oh, I've got to go to work. Do you know what I mean? No, I've been out here shooting film, and that I've been focused on that, and school has just been, I've just tried to get rid of that thought, you know. And then music as well, that's what I'm doing. It just means that I'm gonna have so much more time to write scripts with my friend Joseph Horsford. I don't know if you've seen any videos of our band, but do you know the guy that jumps on stage and goes crazy?
I think I've seen a couple of
He
those.
like
Yeah.
takes his top off and does all the whole thing. Yeah, that's Joe. So he's also very good at acting and writing scripts, and he's yeah, Joseph Horsford. He's a legend, and I love him. We're like the 3 musketeers, me, Joe, and Cody. I write scripts with him, and I'm writing music with Cody, and it just means I'm gonna have so much more time to do all of that when I'm not filming something. It doesn't mean I have to go straight back to school. Do you know what I mean? So I've left that and done. Yeah.
I think it's like it's whatever you feel so passionate about and want to commit your time to. So as long as you know you're being intentional with it, like script writing is something you also really want to do. It's good you're focusing on that. Lastly, I know that you have a co-star and friend in Макенна Gрейс, who you work with for Crater. She's also a talented musician. What can you say about Макенна and your friendship and how it's continued after the film?
So me and Макенна, obviously she lives in LA and I live in London, and it's like, you know, can't just be like, oh hey, do you want to go for coffee? Do you know what I mean? Can't do that. But we do stay in touch. We text a lot, and yeah, me and Макенна are great friends. I do also love the music she's creating. I think it's very good, it's very fun. She's been very supportive about my music. She's heard some of it and all of that. So yeah, Mackenna's a good friend of mine.
I know that she invited you and Cody got to go to the Ghostbusters premiere in Paris earlier this year as well.
Yes, we did. That was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. Me and Cody spent 3 days in Paris, 2 nights, and yeah, it was a good experience. Learning about Paris is it's quite scary. It's quite a scary place, but yeah, I mean, if you think London's bad,
Is it a scary place?
It's quite scary. I'm not gonna lie. I was walking around, you know, late with Cody, and yeah, it's quite tough, you know, but it's also beautiful. and it's got a lot of history. And I love France because my grandparents live in France, so I've been every year of my life, and not so much to Paris, but I know I went last year as well to Rock on Seine. It was a music festival. I got to see Cypress Hill and a load of other bands actually. Yeah, so it was great. And do you know what? I love Paris, but just like I could say I love London, it is tough and it's quite scary at times. But
I feel like you leave it and you get a bit tougher as well. So that's what you take out of it. I have one more question for your signature question. If you could be any ice cream flavor, which would you be and why?
If I could be any ice cream flavor. Okay. God. Does that change every time? Does that question change every time? It's always that. So, like, sorry, I'm trying to come up with an answer for this. It's really hard. It's really hard to come up with an answer for this. I don't know. Like my go-to is vanilla, but like, or like, you know, pistachio is great. You know, people. Well, I actually got someone was like pistachio. That's like the most basic of basic. So yeah, do you know what? Just for that person out there, I'm gonna go pistachio. Yeah. You know who you are.
I was gonna say vanilla is pretty basic. So, but you could also be like it's a classic. So,
but like, yeah, I'm gonna go pistachio because even I think vanilla is quite basic. So pistachio. Yeah.
A step up from vanilla. Thank you so much, Billy, for taking the time to chat. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Do you like my t-shirt as well? I just got it. It's so Bay.
It's great. And then you have, you know, your cap as well, the movie merch. So repping the projects. I'm excited to see what's to come for Bring Her Back. And until then, for all those watching, make sure to catch Billy as Ryan in My Spy, The Eternal City, which is out July 18th on Amazon Prime Video, and Craven the Hunter, which is out December 13th. And we will see you next time.
Yeah, see you later. Thank you. Bye.